Hello Africa, you are watching the CGC Show on AAU TV. AAU TV is the voice of higher education in Africa. The CGC Show is a career guidance and counseling show that seeks to bring to light some career opportunities available in some fields of study which are mostly regarded as not so marketable. As usual, we are coming to you from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities, Accra, Ghana, and I am your host, Adjoa Omie. Many thanks to AJ Makeover GH for my makeup and, of course, my vintage store GH for my beautiful outfits. The show is proudly brought to you by the Association of African Universities. Do well to follow our social media platforms at AAU_TV on Twitter, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, and at AAU TV Official on Instagram. Today, we will be discussing interior design and or decoration as a career path, and my guest is already here. She's actually really doing well in her field. And before I introduce her, let's go for a quick break. When we come back, I'll introduce her and we will delve into what we will be discussing. Stay with us.
Are you an institution or individual? Do you intend to organize a memorable event to be archived for future reference? Then look no further than AAU Studios because it's your best bet. With our spacious studio and state-of-the-art media equipment such as 4K Panasonic video cameras, KinoFlow lights, assorted microphones, live streaming machines and others, you are sure to get the best of production. Visit us at Trinity Avenue, East Legon, adjacent the National Accreditation Board, or contact the AAU studio via the following addresses: info@aau.org, AAUTV@aau.org, Ransford@aau.org. Alternatively, you can call us on 0244 185 998 or 0244 693 342.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, you are watching the CGC Show on AAU TV. Today, we will be discussing interior designing and decoration as a career path. And I have with me here in the studio, Mrs. Sarah Andrews, who will be helping us to tell us some of the benefits, challenges, and of course, share her experience on what exactly she is doing on the field. Sarah Andrews, welcome on the show.
Thank you, dear.
Tell us a bit about yourself. What exactly do you do?
Okay, so my name is Sarah Andrews. It's funny, but I'm accountant by profession, trained as an accountant by profession, and then I switched into the interior designing. Yeah.
What exactly did I know you to be the CEO of Silhouette Interiors?
Okay, so formerly we were mainly into the flooring, but now Silhouette is basically into the soft furnishing of offices and residential space.
Great.
Yeah.
When we say interior designing and decoration, what exactly is it?
Okay, so most people really interchange the word decoration and then design.
Okay.
But interior design is basically the whole startup of a building. When you are going to construct a building, the very foundation of it, the ethics, the rules and regulations, the codes, whatever you have to adhere to before you even build the whole apartment or the space.
Yeah.
And then the interior decor actually is a continuation of the interior design.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So most people actually those people that they do the interior design can actually continue to do the decoration, but the interior decorators cannot really do the interior design. Because with the interior designing, you are looking at the structural work, you are looking out for how the electricals are supposed to be done, all those stuff that has to be done for a building to be complete. And then you look out for whether the items that are supposed to be there are really to the standard, or they are the ones that are supposed to be there or not. Then the interior decorators are mostly into the finishing of the space when the structure is already done.
Oh, okay. Would you consider it an art or a science? Based on what you're saying, you go through some processes and all that. would you consider it an art or a science?
Well, with the interior design, I would say it's both the art and science.
Wow.
Because with the science, you're looking at the fixes of it, you're looking at the chemistry of it.
Yeah.
And then when we are talking of interior design, it's not just the physical, only the physical things that you see.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to even consider the wind pattern, so you'll be able to determine how a window should be set, how a door should be aligned, and then the art is whether the window that you are bringing should be a wood or a glassy, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's more into the, it's more like you look out for the science aspect of it and use it to continue with the art,
So,
which
okay.
comes out with the beauty
See.
of the whole structure.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Tell me, what informed your decision to start or work as an interior designer?
Okay, so what informed my decision was when I completed my service, and then I started work with one company that was into flooring. And then out of that, I was also always looking around for what other things can be done. I initially even suggested it to the owner of the company that we could add ABC to it, but we're making the money that we're making, so it's like, these are the little things. I'm not interested in that. So when the company was no more, I looked out for what other thing that I can do to enhance whatever that is already in the system.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's, I think, what happened. And so I started with the flooring, the soft finishing, which is the carpets, the vinyls, everything that's more of the things after the concrete work is done. Whatever thing that is supposed to be put on the floor is what I concentrated on initially. And then I added the window treatment and other soft finishing into the room as well.
Oh, great, great. What are some of the courses that if someone wants to do or someone wants to become an interior designer or decorator, what are some of the courses that you would recommend to them to read?
Okay, so from the secondary school, I think the visual arts, the home econs, food and nutrition, and even science, as in chemistry, chemistry physics. You could equally do biology, but at a point you would have to drop it and then concentrate more on the physics and then the chemistry. Yeah, so those are some of the courses that you can be doing.
What are some of the skills, basically, what are some of the skills or characteristics a person should have if he or she wants to become an interior decorator or designer? Okay,
so first of all, you should be very creative. And you shouldn't be so static like the accounting kind of, because you only have to follow whatever that is given you. But you should pay attention to details. You can't just do things anyhow. And so with that should help you be able to enter into. Because if you're not creative, you would end up being one way. Everything that you do, people can easily tell, oh, this is from that person, we are tired of that. But you should be dynamic. You should be dynamic, that's what I would say.
But I realize a lot of interior designers or designers in general almost every individual has a unique style. You'll be able to identify the person. Okay, this is coming from, say, Sarah Andrews. What makes your design stand out? What are some of the qualities of your design?
I think it's more into the detailed work. Like, for example, whatever that I do, I make sure that when somebody is standing by it, you should not be able to find any flaws in them. And there are a lot of the draperies, for example, if it comes to curtains, for example, I have a particular style, which most people, they do it, but there's a way that I will touch on it, that when when I see it anywhere, I know it's coming from me. And some of my clients, they know. So most of the time when they need someone to do a specified kind of thing for them, they will just refer that, just go to Silhouette and then you will get it. I mean, the way you want it done.
How long have you been in the industry?
I've been in the industry since 2004. 15 years.
15 years.
Yes.
You have quite an experience.
Yes, but it wasn't all put together. With 2004 to 2009 was mainly into the flooring. And then from 2010 to date, I added the soft finish, that's the window treatments, the blinds, the curtains, and then the setting up to it.
You are the CEO of Silhouette Interiors.
Yes.
Tell us how you started the whole job.
Okay, so I started, originally the company was Lexans. Wow. We started 2009, and like I said, I got my first training from the flooring. So the Lexans was strictly for flooring, the carpets, the vinyl, the polymer materials, and all those things. Then 2012, we branched into the other soft finishing, because most people, you go to them and then they will tell you, oh, if you are into the design, I'm sure you can help me with the windows, the curtains, the blinds. Then I was like, okay, but some clients will tell you, oh, we want blinds, for example, but you look at the space and you realize that blinds won't do for them. For example, if you have a space that has an air condition, honestly, blinds is not the way to go. The reason being that our temperature, for example, the temperature that we have in Ghana, the sun is so hot that when you put just blinds there and then the AC is on, you can't even feel the temperature in the room. So you would have to block it with a curtain that has a block out that will deflect the temperature out. So those are the things that we added on, and then we continued with the Silhouette.
Wow. I heard there's something called aestheticism and functionality. Tell us about it.
Okay, so when you talk of the functionality, then we are looking more into the interior design. Now, the functionality is simply adhering to the codes and ethics of whatever that you are doing. For example, if you want, the person tells you that the structure is going to be a 3-story building. Now, what is going to happen to the ground floor? Then you get onto the first floor, the second floor, and the third floor. The person may see something as in the building, might have seen something from somewhere and would want to replica to whatever space that he has. Now, the functionality has to do with what is going to work for the client, not the beauty. So if, for example, I have a weight that is coming and the client tells you that I want the down to be glass, now he might have seen types of glass as in frame, but the question is, what kind of frame will do well, can contain the pressure? So more or less you're looking out for the codes, what's the specification. Those are the functionalities. So when it comes to the functionalities, you are not really looking at for the beauty of it. You are looking out for what is going to work for the client. Then the aesthetic has to do with the art, the beauty. So out of the function, out of whatever that you are bringing, then you will look around it and see, okay, so within it there are types. What can I use that my client will love? Then you are looking for the secondary, the peripherals. But the basic is the function. The basic is what is going to help the client, not the beauty. So the aesthetic has to do with the beauty, the art. Okay, so this is what you are giving me. Can I get something else that is more nicer than this? Then you are looking at for the beauty of it. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll ask her more about interior design. And I'm actually really wowed here. And I know you at home too, you are enjoying it. We'll be right back after the break.
4 years ago, like most young people, I was clueless as to what I wanted to do and which institution would help me realize a great career. What better place to pursue this dream than Bluecrest College? With state-of-the-art lecture halls and experienced lecturers, as well as equipped computer labs, Bluecrest is indeed the right starting point. With certificate, diploma and degree programs in information technology, business administration, journalism, oil and gas, Bluecrest is the one-stop institute for everyone who is looking to have a great career. Enroll now. Visit www.bluecrest.edu.gh or call any of the numbers on the screen. Bluecrest College. Education for life.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, you are watching the CGC Show on AAU TV, and we have been discussing interior designing and decoration as a career path. My guest, Sarah Andrews, has already shared her experience. She's told us how she diverted from accounting to doing interior designing currently, and she's actually been in the field, or she's actually been in the field of work for about 10 years now. Now, let me come to you, Sarah. What influenced you? Why did you divert from accounting to interior designing?
I know some of my friends will be laughing at me, and now they are also proud of me at the same time. Way back in secondary school, I remember when we vacate, I go home and my paint is, I usually use pink paint. My paint is actually outside waiting for me. I don't even remove my school prints, and then I started to paint. And then my mom specifically would tell me, hey, mommy, right now that you've come home, please don't come and destroy things in the house. Because if I come and then some things are scattered, I'll rearrange them. And then if your things are on the way, it means you don't want it.
Yeah.
So I would take it and throw it away. Yes, and that becomes a fight in the house. But I remember when I got admission to secondary school, Holy Child, and then I actually applied for business, and then I got there, they gave me home econs. And I was like, with my grades and home econs, pardon me. I was like, no, I don't want that. So I first went to the assistant headmistress that's passed recently. And I said, Madam, please, I'm supposed to be in business class, but they've put me in home econs. And said, yeah, but home econs is also equally a good course. I was like, no, I came from with business, not home econs. And then the woman would tell you the place is full. So unless someone moves from the business class, you can't have it. You still have to stay with home econs. And I wasn't comfortable. Apparently, there was this other lady, Abasika Bimpombuta or something, that's the name. Okay. The lady came from outside, and they took the lady to business class. And then the lady was also struggling because she's always reading, and she has been complaining she wants art. But apparently the parents want her to do business. So I was more like trying to push her, you know, force her to see the assistant's head so that she would go to the art, then I can get the business, which finally it worked. But I had to get some scolding from the assistant's head over and over. And it's like, you don't give up. Then I said in my head, that is why I'm standing before you.
Exactly.
Because people fear her. So I started with a business. That's where I started. And then, but at the point, I realized the home econs, when they come, then I'll be doing some kind of texture, as in textiles work. And then I completed. I went to the university, and I landed myself again with a business. I mean, I did become University of Cape Coast. I was there, you have to chew.
Yeah.
I chew everything that you have to chew, just pass the exams and go away.
Go away.
Then I started with a bank. I did my attachments with one bank in Cape Coast. And one time the manager was like, Sarah, you come to work, you do all that, but it looks like you're not happy with what you do. Then I said, okay, let me confine you. It is true. I don't want the job I'm doing at all. But I'm only in because of the money. Which is true. I was there for the money. Because if you are working at a bank, at least you get some kind of money.
Definitely.
But after service on campus, I joined one company, Capitals, which is normal, but they were more into the flooring. And then when I got there, I was really, really happy. The salary cannot be compared with my mates that were also working at other places. They were taking like, say, if it like they were taking like 5 CDs, I was taking like 1 CD, and that was a big deal.
Yeah.
But I think at a point I was fulfilled with where I was, irrespective of the money that I was getting.
Oh, okay.
And I remember sometimes friends would, convince me to apply for a job. I would do that, and then the very day that I get, when they say that, oh, you have successful, you've gotten the job, that very day I just call back and tell them, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. So one man was like, are you a serious person? They've done all the interview. If you know you were not going to, you should just let's go. And so I will go for the interview and then I will decline. I'll go for the interview and I will decline. And I'll still be at Carpet House. So it was there that I realized, no, it means the passion or the desire was more into a different field than the other aspects that I was actually looking for because of the money. But I must say that being at Capital for some time and then realizing my desire or the passion, what I really wanted to do, that's where I started the whole journey of the interior design from. Because with Capital, I think we had some companies that were outside Germany and then US that we had franchise with them. So they come and then they come and train you, they go back on annually basis, and then it's got to like biennial. So that's where the exposure came, and I was like, no, this is really what I wanted.
Do you welcome clients' involvement, or you prefer your clients to stay off your work?
The truth is, you cannot tell clients to stay off work, because whatever that you are doing, it's the client who called you in the first place. You give the client your expertise. You give them what you think would work for them. Then you allow them to also share their views and then their fears, if maybe. And then you allow them, but when you have sorted out with all those orientation and you are done, at that point, maybe you can tell the client to back off a bit so you can have your space to work. But at every stage, you have to let them know where you have reached, what you have done. Because at the end of the day, you are also looking for the satisfaction of your clients, so you can equally get your referrals. But if even you do the thing that you think is the best for the client, and then the client ends up like, I'm not happy with it, you have still not achieved your aim or your goal to which you've done for the clients.
What are some of the questions you ask your clients, and how do their answers factor into the design you do for them? Okay, so if, for example, it depends, but if, for example, you were called to just do setup for the space, for example, like a bedroom, it's funny, but I can ask you your date of birth. I can ask you things you fancy. I can ask you what colors you really want to see in the room.
I can ask you, there are so many questions that sometimes are not even related to the job you are going to do.
Okay.
But from some course that I did, sometimes it helps you to be able to, it's nature, and we don't live in a strict jacket. We have the things that you see, the things that you do not see. Like, for example, wind pattern. If the person is asthmatic, for example, you are not expecting to do something for the space that the place will be airy, the place will be windy, and if the outside is dusty, it can affect your clients. You've done something that the clients want, but at the end of the day, the clients might have issues in the room. So there are certain questions that you ask that is not really related to what you do, like what I mentioned. And that will also help you inform how you should set up the space for the client.
Let me ask you this. Did you ever experience any challenge, or let me put it this way, did you ever fall behind schedule?
Yeah, not many, but few times, yes.
How did you go about?
There were some that were not really the fault of the clients or myself.
Okay.
Some were as a result of nature, like distraction.
Okay.
Yeah, and it means you would have to solve those other problems before you can even tackle your own job, and that would drag the time a bit. There were other ones that other people were supposed to have done their job first before you come in. For example, if you are finishing a room for someone and then the cleaning aspect, you are not the one doing it. The client wants somebody else to do it, and the person is delaying. Naturally, it will also delay you, because if they've not done those other ones, you can't continue. And the last thing that I would want to see is for me to come and do a job, and then somebody else will come and dent it. And at the end of the day, it looks as if everybody knows that you did yours and you went out. But I will still not be satisfied, because I feel someone has spoiled something of mine. So what I always tell clients is, if it has to do with finishing and I'm not the one doing the cleaning aspect, you only call me when the space, nobody is coming, because I will have to be the last person to leave the space. Yeah, so those are some of the things that causes delay. And sometimes you may also, sometimes it can also come from us. You may be doing a job, and then probably what you originally planned for is not the way. Maybe there will be changes, some kind of variations, and you want to make some kind of changes. Sometimes it can also drag, and then it will delay.
What has been your biggest mistake since you started working as an interior designer?
Biggest mistake?
Yeah. You think about it and then you go like, this was really huge.
I think, in all honesty, it was barely about less than a year ago. Where we did a job for a lady. The lady requested for a specific material to be used. Okay, it was mainly curtains, and we're supposed to have used a gray curtains, which we did. But she wanted us to put, like, the lining at the back of it was a block out, and the block out was heavy. And they brought their own, okay, so this is where the problem came in. The client brought her own rods, accessories. And then I remember I told them that I saw it, but I should have told them that the rods they have cannot contain the weight of the materials that we have combined. Normally, we separate them, because the blockhouse is heavier, it can pull stuff down. And then where they fixed the rods were on acoustics, like what we have up there. and that is not heavy enough. So I sent my guys to go and install. And then they installed everything. Everything was okay. Then I was there and the client called me that everything has calmed down. The whole thing has calmed down. Before I told the client that I noticed it, but when I told him, he was like, oh, the rod is robust enough.
Okay.
He's the one that bought it and brought it. So he said the rod was robust enough. But I should have insisted. That's the part I did not do. So when it came down, now it's a double job for us. Then I told him that we should have actually separated. But he told us also that, oh, it's robust, and then he was having only 2 rods, which should have been 3, so that we can do the separation for the block out before the voile, before the curtain. I think that was one job I really did not like. I didn't like.
What do you find most challenging in your field of work?
You seek for jobs, and then sometimes the men always want to control. They always want to have the junk of the market, and most of the interior designers, we are not, the females, we are not many. And so, sometimes it's more like a power play. The guy is into, so wants a guy. And they know you can do the job. I mean, sometimes that's what happens. It's a men's world. So, but we have been able to break through though. But some of the challenges, I think sometimes cost-wise, in terms of costs, somebody would want something of a high quality and still is not ready to pay for that. That would befit what they want. Those are the challenges.
And do you have plans of supporting young ones who want to go into interior designing?
Why not? I actually have 2. That one completed Takoradi, it's now Takoradi University, Technical University. There's one guy, they actually came to my shop about some few months ago, and then one called that he would want me to train, which we've started. But he's a bit fortunate because he did diploma in design. So when we talk on phone, when we are chatting, it's much easier. Then he would complete before December. He would come. The only challenge I'm having is space where for him to lodge. Those are some of the challenges. But I do have another lady too that is understanding, and there's another interior person who also want to really go on commercial basis. That comes to the showroom. We talk for about we've scheduled times. So there are a couple of people that I have trained. So far, the interior decorators, there are about 4 that I have trained here.
You've spoken about the challenges and some of the mistakes that you've done. What are some of the benefits you are enjoying as an interior designer?
At least I decorate my own house. And some of the benefits, because you're already into the field, you know the items that's on the market that are substandards. And then, so sometimes I have the benefits. I have a lot of friends calling me for advice. Maybe they are going to buy something. Oh, what do you think of this place? And I'll tell you, oh, this place, if you want to go there, if I have time, give me this time, I can go with you. And then we will look out, because most of the materials that are in the system, they have the good ones, they have the bad one, and they've mixed all together and they are selling it at the same price. So the question is, how would you know this one is this one is not? So when they call, they are rather benefiting from me than me benefiting from them. But at the end of the day, because I do for them, if there's something to that I need and it's in their area of interest, I also get it for free. So it's, you know, it's like rub my back, I rub your back kind of thing. Well, but in all, I can help those that can't really pay to even do their floor plan, their building, the structure for them, the site plan, and those things I can do for them. Yes.
What would you tell somebody who wants to do interior designing or take it as a career path, just as you have done?
Well, I would say that do not be afraid to venture into interior design. Unfortunately, our parts of the world, as in Ghana specifically, we do not really respect the artisans, the arts, those that are into the arts, but into the formal jobs. But trust me, the job things that I can do in 1 week can be somebody who goes to work like through 2 months, 3 months. You understand? So I will encourage that if that's what you want to do, look out for people who have been in it, and then try to be a mentoree, so they can mentor you into it. It's a bit of a challenge because it's not like the white collar job that you go, whether you work or not, at the end of the month you are paid. It's not like that. This way you have to fight, work hard, and be able to. But there are other companies too that they also employ the services of interior designers, which most of the contractors, most of the architects, they are there, but most of the time they are not even the ones that do the job. It's the interior designer. They do those kind of jobs for them, and then they go and take the money. So if you are planning on taking up interior design or decorating as a job, then I will encourage you that do it and do it well. Learn it the right way. Don't just pick, like social media is so common. People go onto social media, they look out for designs, and then they think, oh, I can do it. Then they go and then they call themselves interior designers. No, go through the formal education, get the understanding, and then as to the pictures, you can look just to entice your eyes or feast your eyes with it, but do the right thing. And then when you get to the top, and you know your stuff, the money will start coming and you yourself will enjoy.
Of course. Thank you so much for making time to come on the show to educate us on what interior designing is. And I believe you also at home, you have enjoyed today's episode. If you have any questions pertaining to what we discussed today on the show, you can send them or put them in the comment box and on our social media platforms at AAU_TV on Twitter, Association of African Universities on Facebook and YouTube, and at AAU TV Official on Instagram. Or you can send them via WhatsApp on 050-123-8468, and you'll have them answered. Thank you so much for tuning in. Many thanks to AJ Makeover GH for my beautiful makeup, and of course my Vintage Store GH for my beautiful outfits. The show is proudly brought to you by the Association of African Universities. Catch the repeat on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. if you missed today's episode. My name is Adjoa Omie, and I'll see you next time.